I'm married. I've got 2 kids. I've got a boy and a girl, 10 and 12. So I was really relieved when they went back to school today. So yes, for International Women's Day, yes, with kids going back as well. Yeah, I did have a panic this weekend though, because my son needed his hair cut, so I had to learn how to do a barber trim on YouTube. So that was fun.
Right. What I was going to ask you is, I mean, you mentioned the Malhotra group there. Tell us a little bit about your kind of journey being in the Malhotra group. How's that like?
You know what? It's not what I expected it to be. I'd spent such a long time in private practice. I'd never worked in-house before, so it was such a shock to my system when I went to work for the group,
Right.
just in terms of sort of practice areas and the environment that I was working in. But I've got to say, it's been a really refreshing change. The time I spent in private practice when I was studying as a lawyer as well, I found really hard in some ways as well. I found I faced much more discrimination, more on the basis of being a female rather than because of being an ethnic minority. And the group that really sort of empowers women. I've been doing the gender pay gap reporting recently. We've got far more female managers than we have male, for instance. I work in a heavily dominated female environment with the care sector that we operate in. Head office as senior managers. I've got to say, it's like a really refreshing change. It's surprising. It's not what I expected to be. I thought it would probably be more extreme in the environment I work in, but that's not the case at all.
Fantastic. So obviously, quite a lot of female staff there, which is great to see. I mean, in your journey from obviously graduating, obviously getting married, you've got a family. Tell us a little bit about the challenges you've faced to kind of balancing home life possibly and with your work life.
Yeah, it has been challenging. I'm not one of these people that thinks that actually you can have it all.
Yeah.
I know it's sort of a divisive opinion some people have on the matter. I certainly took a career step back when I became a mother. I went part-time for 2 different reasons, really. I felt like I needed to be there for my children, but also as well, like I did feel an impact on my career, and I'd actually delayed having children for a little while because I was worried about sort of career progression and opportunities and being promoted. And to be honest, my fears were founded because that did happen as well, along with a lot of other sort of females in that particular environment. I can only sort of speak for myself and in the profession that I was in, but yeah, and part of it was also as well because I wanted to be around for the kids when they were very young. But once they've grown up a little bit as well, I felt like I've been able to sort of step back into my career mode now and push forward. And I'm really lucky actually because I've got a husband that supports me in that. I came from a background of really strong women as well. My dad's one of 8 and 6. He had 6 sisters, so I've always had that sort of female empowerment going on, but in the background that's really sort of pushed me to achieve in life. Never feel like I've had limits there, but like I said, I am lucky as well because I've got a partner that supports me in that as well. It's it's equal between the 2 of us. It's not purely because I'm the woman that I have to do the well. Still say it's maybe 55-60% in my favor, but in his favor, but when it comes to housework and things, but he does, he picks up the slack when it comes to the kids as well, and that's the only way really I've been able to achieve what I have.
Fantastic. There's a strong woman behind a successful man. There's the other way around works as well, I suppose, does it?
Yeah, definitely. It's a partnership. He's got a stressful job and challenging career as well, so we do, it swings and balances, but I've got to say he's an equal partner in that, and I don't think I'd be able to do what I do unless I had that support behind me.
Fantastic. If I was to ask you to maybe identify a few key achievements and successes, maybe 1 or maybe 2, what would they be?
I think primarily when I first qualified, it was hard going sort of in that environment as well, sort of knowing the prejudices that the women face and ethnic minorities especially. So when that happened, that was a real achievement. In the last few years, I think it's primarily because I've been supported by the group that I work with. I've been able to, I was a trustee for a couple of years for Age UK, and then I became a vice chair, I am now, of the in-house division. for the Law Society. So I went in as a committee member and I got promoted to vice chair last year, which is a real achievement. And I've had a couple of nominees recently. So we've got the Northern Power Women's Awards tonight.
Yeah.
And I've also, I mentioned, remember what I've written some notes here. I like to be prepared. So, and also I'm on the Northern Asian Power List, inspiring professional and women in business.
Wow, fantastic. And all absolutely rightly deserved. You do a great job. And I mean, if you had some advice to any of our sort of women that are listening today, what advice would you give, as in maybe to balance home and career? What advice would you give?
I think in terms of giving women out there advice, I really feel that it's really important to know that whatever you want to achieve in life, you have to work for as well. It doesn't come easily. It's not come easily to me and anyone around me. I've got some great peers. I've got a really strong support network, especially I've got a particular group of friends that I lean on. We call ourselves the BBs as well, that I met through networking, and we support each other, but we all work really hard. But at the same time as well, like we push ourselves to the limits. We don't feel like there's any barriers there. It's really important to, you hear this glass ceiling all the time. It's our job really to push through that barrier and make sure that the next generation as well of girls underneath us, I want my daughter to know that she can achieve anything she wants to as well. She could be an astronaut if she wanted to. She could be a nautical engineer. There's no limits there. Especially sort of one of my friends in particular as well, she's really pushing it for STEM at the moment, and that's really empowering to see. So just to think across all sectors, knowing that you've got strong people around you, reach out for support. If you're young, even if you're older as well, reach out for mentors. I've actually got a male mentor that I have found through the Law Society. So it doesn't necessarily have to be female to female as well, but someone that help you on your journey as well and push you really to step outside your comfort zone.
Fantastic. I mean, that's great advice. And to me, you are, I mean, you inspire, you are a bit of a mentor as well to, people that are following your journey. It's fantastic. The Northern Power Awards, I know I'm not going to keep you too long. I know you've got that coming up. Good luck with that this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Really, really hope you get I'm sure you're going to get the top prize for that. I mean, International Women's Day, the theme was choose to challenge. What does that mean to you then?
You mentioned this before actually when you asked me to do the interview as well, and I was having some thoughts about what that really means to me. I think in my particular environment, I am really fortunate. My voice is heard, but what I have seen all through my life is this subconscious gender bias. So people use words when it comes to girls and women, calling them bossy, but if a man said that, a boy said that, it would be him being assertive. So for me, that it's gentle influencing. It's not necessarily being like really aggressive about it, but it's those sort of those micro aggressions that people sometimes aren't even aware of, but being picked up on and sort of saying, calling them out in a meeting. I mean, I don't have that problem at work. I'm probably one of the most assertive people in the room when we have meetings. It's my job to challenge people and have my opinion heard. But yeah, it's just calling those out really to educate people to understand that it's not necessarily it's discriminatory on the face of it, but it's those subconscious messages that girls are hearing all the time and makes them feel that they have to silence their voice. They can't say what they want to say because of a fear of being called bossy or worse.
Fantastic. So still some work to do there, and maybe we need to look at that. Anu, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Really do appreciate it.